What's up, YouTube? It's Southern Comic Geek coming back at you with the CGC haul video that almost was not. So I woke up and found out that the FedEx guy had already delivered my comics, the CGC comics that I had submitted back at Memphis Comic Con back in October, which is another story altogether. But I was able to get in touch with the people at the FedEx shipping guy. The FedEx guy came back around, and so was able to get this before Christmas. And so I submitted 20 books. This is 16 of them. The other 3 are on their way, and because CGC is so far behind on pressing, that last one is still in the works. So this is an actual unboxing. You are seeing these things live as I do. Now, if you recall my first CGC haul video, I admitted to you some of my newbie mistakes when it comes to not pressing and grading, just cool books, or what I deem to be cool books as opposed to grading something of value. So this kind of falls into that situation. I'm crossing my fingers and hoping that I don't get slammed as bad as what I did with those Days of Future Past editions I had in that video. So we're going to see. Let's look. All right, the first one I got is X Factor 39. This is the issue where Multiple Man absorbs back in his baby. This was by, I got it signed by Peter David. So a really cool factoid, if you didn't know it out there, that Peter David told me that the reason why this story even happened was because Marvel had told him, hey, wait a minute, no mutants can have babies, because this was during the time before Hope Summers and all that kind of stuff, if you're familiar with the X-Men genre. And so he said, well, how can I get rid of the kid because the woman was pregnant? And so basically, spoiler alert, it's an old comic, shouldn't matter, but spoiler alert, Jamie Madrox absorbs his own kid back into him. So this one wasn't too bad. It ended up coming back as a 9.0. So Peter David. Interesting thing about Peter David, he doesn't charge you for signatures. I think I've mentioned that before on some of these videos. But I mean, his line's virtually vacant, which is astounding to me because essentially Peter David has established so many comics that we're all familiar with today. I mean, Incredible Hulk. I mean, his run of that, X Factor, X-Men 2000. I mean, Spider-Man 2099. I guess some of these newer kids don't realize that. So this was one I was kind of worried about. I got a really good deal on this Wolverine #1. But I didn't want to pay to have it pressed because I was paying so much for everything else. But I got this signed by Chris Claremont. So it came back as a 7.0. Not bad, at least not in my mind. And because I know that it was never pressed or cleaned, I probably could send it back and have it reslabbed if I so chose, and maybe get another half a grade or a grade higher. This is X-Men 207, a David Finch cover. This is during the Messiah Complex, which is kind of what we were talking about a while ago with the Peter David stuff. I got this signed by David Finch. Real cool David Finch cover there. David Finch, real nice guy to talk to. So far, pretty good. Uncanny X-Men 493. This is a David Finch cover. Cable holding Hope Summers. 9.4. So not bad. At least not in my mind. At least it wasn't like a 3.0 like those other X-Men were. But there are some in here that I know I could have done a lot better with pressing. You live, you learn. This one I had picked up right before the Memphis Con and another deal. This is another one I was actually worried about being kind of a low grade. This is Uncanny X-Men 95. This is the death of Thunderbird. One of the few people in Marvel Comics that has actually stayed dead relatively. Got it signed by Chris Claremont. It was come back as an 8.5. No cleaning, no pressing, no nothing. So I was pretty proud of that. Pretty surprised, actually. Interesting thing, I called CGC because I had done these through a facilitator, which, based on my one experience with a facilitator, not too happy, don't want to do that anymore, but that's just my personal experience. So I couldn't check them online. So what I had to do is I had to call CGC, and as many dings as CGC gets on their customer service, had nothing but good things to say about them. Getting the information for me. So they told me my 3 older books, which is my Amazing Spider-Man, is it 121? In those, they were going to encapsulation, and these hadn't even made it there yet to get graded before they go to encapsulation. And so somehow I got these before I got the other ones. I don't know. Let's see what other goodies we got in here. Kind of forgot. Batman Who Laughs, #1. And got it signed by Scott Snyder, another really nice guy. Cool cover by Joke. 9.8, not bad at all. This one I kind of regret. I did do something different with it. Again, you live and you learn. But this is the Batman Who Laughs, the Grim Knight, the white sketch variant cover. Got it signed by Scott Snyder. Really wish I would have waited, because I ended up seeing Greg Capullo at another con. Wish I would have waited and got him to do a little remark or something like that on there. But it is what it is. I'm not a big Spider-Gwen, or Ghost Spider as she's known as now, fan, but Robbie Rodriguez was there at that Memphis con. I said, hey, what the hey, let's go ahead and get him to sign this. So I've got him to sign this cover, Spider-Gwen 29. Daredevil's in it. Got him to sign it. One of the co-creators of Spider-Gwen. Come back as a 9.8. Really cool. This is another one I'm kind of shocked at. So X Factor 68. Not a big book unless you're a huge Claremont or X-Men fan, of which I am, so it's cool to me. This is the one where Scott Summers makes the choice to send Cable into the future to save his life. And the really cool part when he takes off his glasses and says, the eyes are the window of the soul, which is a biblical reference. And he said, let me show you mine. And he destroys Apocalypse, at least for them. Signed by Chris Claremont, 9.2. I had picked that up in a dollar bin the day before the con, so thought that was pretty cool. Okay, I got another one of the Wolverines I got. I had gotten these on a website called hipcomic.com, and I got the Wolverine original miniseries 1 through 4 for $50. There was 2 copies of #1 in there, which was a really great deal. And so I ended up selling my extra copy of #1 for like $30 on eBay. So basically the whole set was almost paid for, but I took the whole set and got Chris Claremont to sign it. So you remember the other one was a 7.0. This one came back as an 8.0. No clean, no press. Probably could bump up maybe half a grade on that one. So very interesting. Iron Fist Marvel Premiere rather, #25. This is an early, if not the first, John Byrne art. But it was John Byrne and Chris Claremont. Of course, I don't believe Byrne does any kind of cons anymore. But again, if I had done a pressing or a cleaning on this one's got a really cool for the collection anyway. 5.0. Might be Claremont's first story. Maybe it is. Batman The Dark Knight #11. Not really a big story or anything. I just thought it was a really cool cover, and I was looking for cool covers to get the artist to sign, and so this one would qualify. David Finch, 9.6. Did a little Batman, little remark for me for no extra cost there. Pretty cool. This is another one that qualifies for that. This is The Dark Knight #9. Got Red Robin and the Owl on it. Another David Finch cover. Did the little Batman remark for me again. 9.2. Not too terrible. I don't know. This is another one of those Wolverine miniseries that I got done. And it came back a 9.0. So, surprise, surprise there. Signed by Chris Claremont. Which was interesting that he signed it down here, because if you know anything about Claremont, he usually signs it across the title, at least on the X-Men ones. He was an interesting guy. We were carrying on a conversation about Wolverine and all that kind of stuff. I guess he was trying to switch it up a little bit. This is Wolverine number 3, came back at 7.5. So I got a 7, a 7.5, an 8, and then a 9. I don't know. But he signed it down the side on this one. I guess trying to do something a little different. This one doesn't really look. It says white pages. Got a bunch of spine ticks. I bet you that's what caused it right there. I don't know if y'all can see that. That glare is kind of bad. There's a whole bunch of spine ticks all down that. Little ones, but they're spine ticks nevertheless. On that black cover, this shit look pretty bad. And I think this one is the last of this batch. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and this is 16. So this is Incredible Hulk 393. Got Peter David to sign this. And come back at 9.6. Pretty cool. This is the full cover. Interesting thing about this cover was I bought this from a comic shop when it first came out back in 91, 90, 92. And I was in a mall. That tells you how long ago it's been, right? I was in a mall and I accidentally dropped it off of the mall, second floor of the mall. And it hit the ground. And I was so OCD back then. The copy I had, this is a different copy, but the copy I had bent this down here. And so I was about to have a conniption fit. So, of course, I've gotten rid of my collection since then. So I picked up another copy. I thought it was a cool memory to go along with that comic book and got Peter David to sign it. Kind of wish I would have waited and got, because I think Jim Starlin does some art in that book. And I got Starlin to sign some stuff at Louisville GalaxyCon last month. So that's my 16. Like I said, I've got 4 more that are in the works, 3 that should be here next week. So I'll probably have another CGC haul video. Was really glad that the FedEx worked with me to come back by. And so shout out, kudos to them. That they were willing to come back by in this busy season and get these so I wouldn't have to wait till after Christmas. So glad about that. I mentioned the CGC facilitator earlier. He took 2 or 3 weeks before he sent my stuff off. Not really great on communication, but as far as CGC goes, every time I called them, they were willing to give me updates and all that kind of stuff. So kudos and shout outs to them. I know some other people have mentioned not having great experiences. With them, but mine has been okay so far. They're slower than I like, but I guess the best things come to those who wait. So give me your comments, thoughts down below. What do you think about this haul? What do you think I could do differently maybe next time to get better grades? Have you collected any of these books? What are you currently collecting? Waiting on any goodies yourselves from CGC, PGX, or CBCS? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, I would like for you to consider to subscribe to the channel so we can get our subscribers up and get the content out to more people who like these kind of videos and like the video. And in the meantime, this is done on Christmas Eve in 2019. I hope that you and all of yours have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And until next time, keep reading.